Yo, Dan, how's it going, man?
Great.
I was just on Automator and I was looking at one of the properties that we were speaking with that's right next to the one that we successfully did our lease option on.
Yeah.
And I just recently found out that it foreclosed. And we talked to this guy and he said, "Oh, I'm just gonna wait for it to, somebody I'm gonna find a renter eventually. I'm gonna find a renter eventually." And it's like, dude, there's like 3,000 listings in your area. There's nothing that separates your property from the rest of these properties. Why do you think your property is going to be filled? It's been on Zillow for like 97 days
Mm.
and you're in pre-foreclosure. Like, we're trying to save you. So you're just going to wait. So I know we talked to that guy maybe like 30 days ago, like 30-ish or 35 days ago.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to happen so fast, but it turns out that he ended up getting pre-for or foreclosed on essentially. So
Wow.
isn't that
So
crazy?
yeah, that's really too bad. I mean, that's a wrecker. I mean, for his credit, a lot of stuff. That's really too bad. So I mean, what should he have done differently? Like, what do you think he should have done differently?
I mean, honestly, when we reached out to him, like, God sent us to him to like reach out to him so we can save his property. Cause I mean, he doesn't own it anymore. The bank owns it.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think what he should have did was let us do our lease option strategy. And then we would have got a tenant in there within 30 days with the
Yeah.
quickness, that whole 35 days that I just spoke of, that would we would have had him a tenant already, basically.
Yeah.
And we could have got him a higher rent too, because I know his rent was only like 1995. And with that property, we did our analysis and we were able to, at least as a minimum, get $2,200. And he just was thinking, "Oh, I just want to rent it. I just want to rent it." And just like, okay, well, it's pretty much the same thing, but we're giving you guaranteed rent payments. When you have a tenant, it's not guaranteed rent payments. So there's still a difference. And he was trying to get a lower rent and he
Mm.
still couldn't get a tenant, which is pretty sad. So
Why
it
was
sucks that he's
he? Well,
property.
in let me ask you a couple questions here. Like, what are the risks in having a rental in a market like that? Like, what
Well,
made it
there's nothing.
what made it challenging for him, and why did he even need to do price drops? I mean, rentals are supposed to be, obviously a great real estate investment.
That's a great question. So honestly, bro, like I think the main reason why he wasn't able to move it is because there were so many other listings that were exactly the same as
Mm,
his. Like there's nothing to set his apart, and it's just a typical rental. And when there's just typical rentals and there's a ton of them, literally, like there's thousands in the market,
yeah.
why would somebody pick yours over somebody else's when there's so much abundance of rentals to pick from? Now, when we do our lease option slash rent to owns, those are like the only ones in the market. So when somebody sees those, they jump on them like with the quickness. And then it's more valuable because it's not just a typical rental. They're actually able to update the house. They can, do whatever they need to actually become a homeowner and not necessarily have to continue renting, for an extended amount of time and then finding a different place to live once they have to move out. With
Yeah.
this, they don't have, they're already in the property that they're eventually going to buy. So it's just more valuable for people because people would rather, if they're going to live in a house, if they have the feeling or the possibility to actually own the property, then they're going to take it more serious. And that's part of why they'll pay a higher amount in rent because it's actually going towards something, which is their home ownership. It's not just rent money that's just like being flung out the window and they're never seeing it again.
Yeah.
It's something that's actually, stair stepping their way into home ownership, which is pretty cool. So,
Yeah. And I think
yeah.
another reason why that guy needed to drop his rent price is that's the only thing you can really do in a saturated rental market. Like you said, how is your rental going to stand out amongst hundreds or 1,000 other rental properties that are the thing is they all say the same thing. They all say
True.
the same thing. Everyone
Yeah.
knows what a rental is. So the only thing to really differentiate it, unless it's got some crazy amenities that might not even be a good return on investment for
Mhm.
the landlord, is to drop the rent. So that's when you see these that have been listed for 60 days or 90 days or more, which is crazy that something could sit for that long. The only thing they can do is drop it $50, another $50, another 25, another 100. It's the only thing that they can do. And those months of vacancy can eat
Yeah.
into an entire year's worth of cash flow and net profit is
Yeah.
something big to realize.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, if he just let us do the lease option on it, but human nature, I guess some people are stubborn. We know that for sure. like you said, we could have gotten someone in there in 30 days or less. I mean, that's our track record with it, because something I like to say is these rent to owns, these lease options are a breath of fresh air, especially in saturated rental markets, because everyone is used to seeing the same thing, meaning tenants who are clicking on Zillow and looking, all saying the same thing. But then when they see this lease purchase option, rent to own, gateway to home ownership, they say, hold on a second, what is this? And then they reach out to us, we get on the phone with them, and the great thing with that, as we
Mhm.
both know, they're not reaching out to some huge conglomerate property management company where they have to go through automated prompts and the automated system, and they end up
Mhm.
connecting to some like a VA overseas, where it's just
Yeah,
frustrating. And Eric
true.
and I have even done a little bit of market research on that, and like we've called some of these properties that have been sitting for 60 or 90 days or more to see what
Mhm.
it's like if we can actually get a hold of someone. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, it is an absolute pain in the butt. So, I mean, I would
Yep.
I would want to, Eric, I want to bring it back to you and say, like, there's
Mhm.
something we want to offer to people out there. Um,
Mhm.
like, what if someone might know a landlord who might have a property listed and they might be open to exploring an alternative renting strategy? Is there something we might be able to incentivize them with or offer them? Like, what would you say?
That's a good idea. I mean, typically we just have people send people to us that will, want to do this. But I think what we could do is we could throw in, a few hundred. You know what? I think we should throw in $500 for these people to actually refer us somebody that would want to do the rent to owns, that they're looking to become a homeowner. They don't need to have the best credit. And
Yeah.
then if they do that, we can definitely, once they actually become a tenant, we can, send them $500. That's something that we could do.
What about if someone knows a struggling landlord? Like, is that on the table also? Like, if they're to refer us a landlord?
100%. Yeah, yeah, 100%. I mean, if they refer us a homeowner that has a non-performing asset they've been trying to rent and
Mhm.
they haven't been renting, it's just sitting vacant and they're consistently paying mortgage payments, we can definitely do that same type of thing for them too as well.
That's amazing. So you're saying $500 if they refer a lease option tenant who actually becomes a tenant of ours and moves in. And if they were to happen to know a landlord out there who's trying to rent their property and they become a client of ours and work with us, that person could also get $500 for doing that.
Yeah, 100%. And then if they
Wow.
refer both of them, they get 1,000.
That's a pretty sweet deal. Hey, especially with the holidays coming up here. You never know.
Yeah, that's true.